Marcus Robert Johnson here in this extreme Wisconsin cold. I want to talk about Amir Khan and the glass chin that he doesn't have. And I want to talk about why some fighters end up getting dropped or knocked out, maybe a little more, and then labeled as a glass chin. Now, when people get knocked out, and like I've had this problem the last few fights too, where I've done some of these things and they've gotten me in trouble. But when you're talking about guys like Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao, well, Manny Pacquiao doesn't have a glass chin. That happened to him, that's a little different. But when you're talking about a guy like Amir Khan, if you really watch what he's doing, watch how he's gotten to the level of boxing in which he's at, go watch some of his wild card sparring, go watch some of his Pacquiao sparring, look at the fights he was in. And I think what happened to Amir Khan was he blew up a little too fast and didn't tighten up a few things that he needed to tighten up. Because what gets guys hurt a lot of times in boxing, or are more prone to being knocked down or out, when you're doing, like, you got to understand, Amir Khan is extremely fast. And he does things that are not common for other boxers to be doing because he's unique in being able to do them. So when he's there and he rushes and gets off those 18 punches or whatever you see flying, the more punches you throw, the more you're putting yourself in danger. And if you look at the knockouts, Amir Khan has a great chin, honestly. And I might get backlash for that because people aren't paying attention, but look at the fight. I can't remember dude's name, Morez or Mar, whatever it was. Look at the fight. There's two that I watched where he actually got stopped or whatever. The Danny Garcia one, and a lot of people talk about it now, but I feel like people talk about it without seeing it or without remembering it. Because it's not like he got Mike Tyson or something. He wasn't in the fight and got hit one time and dropped and knocked out. It was a couple different punches over, I think, 2 rounds maybe. And he got up like a man and kept fighting. He didn't quit, bro. And he didn't even get knocked out like super cold or nothing. And then and he got dropped and got up, went to war, bring it on, war. You never seen him, he never quit on his stool. He never backed up and ran away. And I don't know why he doesn't get more credit for that than getting smashed for having, getting what he gets for having, like, a poor chin. He doesn't have a poor chin. He has an excellent chin because the knockouts he's had, the times he's been hurt and stopped, Manny Man wouldn't have taken half that punishment. And the fight before that when he got stopped, that was early on too, and the same thing. He getting caught rushing in and with the fast flash. But when he fought Canelo, that was a true knockout. And the thing about that knockout that's a little different as well is, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I feel like the boxing world, there's a lot of us that give him the good credit for that fight. But most people aren't. Most people just want to laugh at him or something, bro. And he fought one of the best fighters in the world in about a weight class or 2 weight classes up from where he should be fighting. Amir Khan should not be fighting higher than 147, bro. He shouldn't. He really shouldn't. He's dominating at the lower weight class because those guys can't keep. But the money is at the higher weight class. You're not gonna make no money in boxing like you want to, unless you're like 140 and up. I'd say 140 to 165, and then after that you got to be like a heavyweight. So that's why he jumped. But he took an opportunity. He took a chance with Canelo. Everyone knew he was gonna get knocked out, but he went in there and tried anyway. And instead of talking about his heart or the great determination, the cojones that Vato has, y'all want to rip him. Talk about you don't got a chance, you wouldn't even get it. You would never get in the ring. Everyone talking about that would never get in the ring with Canelo. Shut up. You wouldn't even get in the ring with me. Shut up. But, and he got timed. It was good timing. He got timed right on the spot. And again, a little, not as much. You can't see it as much because this is a one-punch knockout. but he was still trying his flash fast stuff. And I think if he tightens up his game and protects himself a little better, he'll be able to do greater things in boxing. He's still got time. And that brings me to my next point, is that the more off the books you go with your boxing, the more likely it is you're going to get knocked out. Everyone has the potential to be knocked out when they get hit clean, when they get hit. Roy Jones is a beautiful example because he didn't go by the books. And once he got older, it was why he could not compete, because his talent was a bit diminishing with his speed and age and muscles growing older. He wasn't able to keep up what he was able to do in his prime. And he traveled different weight classes. And that's why he's got knocked out a few times in his older age, because he has boxing basics. I'm not saying he doesn't have boxing basics, but he doesn't have boxing basics built in him to the degree of like Bernard Hopkins maybe, or like or even Canelo, I'd say maybe, because what I'm saying is that Roy Jones's defense is to make you miss and make you pay immediately. Just purely making you miss. He's not really parrying shots. He's not really catching punches. He's not really just blocking them. He is now. He was now later, but he's not really just blocking. He's every time, hands down, because he leaves himself open to draw you in. You think you can get a clean shot, and you can't, and then he makes you miss, and he makes you pay. And now you thought it was gonna be easy, so you didn't even protect yourself as well. And he's so fast that he can time you between the punch and defending yourself. So, and that was my problem the last like 4 fights too, is I didn't change what I was doing. I wasn't getting in big fights where I didn't change what I needed to do. I didn't change my style of training for them. And I have now. I really have now. But you see me doing I always put I watched a little too much Anderson Silva and Roy Jones and Ali and Floyd Mayweather. And when I'm confident, I'm my worst enemy, because I put my hands down and I get going. I'm in the zone. It worked against David Carlson, but that fight was at a slower pace than what some of these national tournament fights are. So it wasn't as effective once I got to the elite level of boxing. And that's basically it. I'm not getting knocked out cold, but I got dropped a few. I got dropped. Julian Smith dropped me. I think he stopped me in both fights I fought him. The second time I fought him, the first time I fought him, he hurt me. I was on Lazy Street there. And then when I got to the Nationals, the most recent, or both Nationals, in the Golden Glove Nationals, I got dropped in the first round and the third round. But I fought courageously like Amir Khan, and I kept going, and I didn't give the ref a reason to stop it. And then I don't know why he did it. Maybe, this last one in the Salt Lake City, I got dropped in the third round as well. And that was my fault. I didn't do what I needed to do in that fight. I didn't learn from the past few fights to prepare for that fight correctly. And that was my mistake. I fucking learned my lesson. I'm doing weight training twice a week. The more I make it, I'm just doing these things to make myself strong and tightening up, because I have good talent, but I'm tightening it up so that I don't get put in as much danger. So my defense isn't always to drop the hands and try to get away with somebody, because I'm not gonna get lucky, and I'm not gonna. Guys are too experienced now to be going, to be throwing wild when I drop my hands. It worked for a while, but it's not working on this elite level, and that's my biggest lesson with boxing that I've learned for myself. And that's just what happens in boxing, man. A lot of guys they try different things. The more danger you put yourself in, the more risk you run of being KO'd. And that sounds like no duh, but I mean, a lot of people won't understand. Like what I would say, the more danger you put yourself. When you drop your hands, you're putting yourself in danger. When you're throwing barrages of punches, you're putting yourself in danger. When you're throwing big, huge haymakers, you're putting yourself in danger. So that's why the counter is so beautiful. And Amir Khan, and people know that about Amir Khan. And Danny Garcia is beautiful at timing, beautiful at countering. It's not. I wouldn't say he has a one knockout shot right now or nothing. But his countering and his timing accuracy is giving him knockouts. And I think Danny Garcia is gonna whoop Keith Thurman. I'm gonna make the video on that. A lot of people don't agree with me on that. I don't care if you don't agree, because that's what I see is gonna happen. But yeah, I just want to talk a little about Amir Khan. And when Manny Pacquiao got knocked out, he doesn't have a glass chin. And Manny Pacquiao got knocked out early on too in his career and came back and still did great things. But he puts himself in danger as well when you're flying with your head in there, and he's going to, especially Marquez, a guy like Marquez, time you, bow. You ran into it. You know, it's not that he has a glass chin. Every person is capable of being knocked out or knocked down when they get hit. So limit the amount of times you get hit and the amount of clean shots you take, and you won't get knocked out and knocked down. And that's all I want to say about Amir Khan and being knocked out and knocked down. He's got the heart of a champion more than any of you, more than a lot of people will ever know. This is Marcus Robert Johnson Boxing on Twitter. This is Marcus Robert Johnson Boxing. Or no, I'm sorry. Whoa! Marcus Robert Johnson Boxing on Facebook. MRJ Boxing on Twitter. And DatBoy Tweak 428 on YouTube. Get with me. I'm coming for you, Bieber. I'm coming for you, Bieber. I'm gonna make this happen, Bieber. Yeah. Hashtag Boxing Bieber. Hashtag Boxing Bieber. I'm out.